Be going over practice 15-3, which says attributes of quadrilateral. And I kind of like to think of attributes as a word kind of like when we describe characters, we use character traits. And attributes are just the traits of each of the shapes. So we're going to classify each quadrilateral, and we're going to be specific as possible. Classify just means name. Remember to go up above and use that teaching chart if you get stuck. The first thing I see here is that I'm looking here and two sides are the same length. I see no right angles, and I see one pair of parallel sides. So when you only get one pair of parallel sides, it can only be one thing, and that is a trapezoid. Well, at least on this worksheet. That is a trapezoid. Okay, I wanted to change my color. Moving on. Here, I have two sides the same length, then another two. I'm looking at my parallel lines. This is parallel. I have two sets of parallel lines, and I have four right angles. This would be a rectangle. Okay, here we are. I have, again, two sides that are equal and parallel. Then these two are equal and parallel. So I'm thinking it might be a rectangle. However, I notice the angles are not right. So if I go back up, and if my angles are not right, it's going to be a parallelogram. So when you have right angles, your only choices are rectangle and square. So this is going to be a parallelogram. I think I spelled it right. Okay, and then I'm going to the next one. This next one says, or shows that I have all sides the same length, which could be a square. However, squares have right angles, and this shape has no right angles. This shape looks like a square that's been punched, so it is a rhombus. It's tilting over to the side. Name the vertices of the square to the right. Okay, and actually, I don't even know what that letter is. I'm gonna have to make it even bigger. Zoom in. Looks like an L. All right, so for this question only, I'm going to name it. I'll keep my screen really zoomed in. And so just remember, wherever you start, you go around. So if you're going to start with A, you can do A, G, F, L, but just always go around. It will make your life easier when you get into high school. But here I actually see a word spelled out, F-L-A-G, so I'm going to just name the shape flag. So I'm going to name it flag. And I did capitals because it was in capitals. I don't think it really matters. Zoom out to 100 again. All right. The angles of a quadrilateral measure 80 degrees, 100 degrees, 100 degrees, and 80 degrees. Okay, so automatically there's no 90s. So that means I have to, it cannot be a rectangle or a square. Let's go back and see what else. Okay, so two angles that are 100 and two angles that are 80. So when I'm looking here, it sure didn't seem like it would be this one. It can't be a rhombus, or could it be a rhombus? It could be a rhombus, but I'm not sure because I don't know the lengths of the sides. So I can't use the word rhombus. My daughter just came in and distracted me from my train of thought. So I'm just going to go with this being a parallelogram because I am not sure of the other factors, so I can't properly label it because I don't know what their lengths of the sides are. So what kind of quadrilateral has this shape? What attributes did you use to solve it? Parallelogram, because there are no right angles and we do not know the lengths of the sides. So when we don't know that, it automatically tells us we don't. Actually, it could be a trapezoid even. Yoinks. I'm not actually sure now that I've got me second guessing myself. I'm going to stick with parallelogram. And I do not know. Actually, we're just going to leave it at that for now. And then I'm going to go back and check the answer key. If I'm wrong, I will come make a video about it. But see, teachers get stuck too sometimes. It's okay. That's what learning is. Learning is just, understanding something a little more deeply. Can a trapezoid have 4 obtuse angles explained? Okay, I do know this one for sure. A trapezoid cannot have 4 obtuse angles. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of this little statement right here. Remember, the sum of the measure of the angles has to equal 360 degrees. That means, so let's just think about that. Let's say every angle was just 1 over right, being right. So right angles are 90. Let's just say every angle was 91 degrees. Then when I would add up 91 4 times, that would give me more than 360 degrees. So that cannot work, okay? And so the way we can say this is, we can even go back to our fancy words over here. The sum of the measures of angles must be 360. So I'm going to write something like that. Because the sum of the angles in a quadrilateral, which it is, must equal 360. And I'm just going to write the word degrees. If you wanted, you could go and insert that mark, but it's not necessary. So to give it a little bit more information, if the angles were all obtuse, it would be more than 360 degrees. And there you have it, friends. I'm going to go back, look up that answer, and make sure I got it right, and I will post another video.